go, you commit fraud. You think everybody does fraud. Shame. Thank you. Toa you mtu kwa platform, please. Yes. Remove him from the platform. Block him. I don't want him here. You don't make such comments and insult to harass my staff. Thank you very much. I respect Nnamdi Kanu. I respect Biafrans. Millions of them know what role I have played in the struggle against Buhari. I'm not a part of Nigerian soil, neither do I want anything. Therefore, these are the type of people like Ruto. I don't like to talk to stupidity. They are here also. I don't know that watu wengine wananizoea sana. Wanafikiri mimi niko mtoto yao. I have also kids who are almost equivalent to your age. If you are 52, my firstborn daughter is 40. So what? You threaten other people. Don't threaten Matanga. I've had enough. Go and work with Museveni. Not me. I'm a soldier inside, but very civilized outside here. So next time, root chunga san, uchunge. This type of stupid people. People are building the nation. People are building Africa. You are destroying it. We are trying to defend you against Buhari. You are now telling us that, oh, this is, because we are not talking about Biafra. You think we are pocketed by Buhari? Stupid! Kwenda! Kwenda kabisa!
Enough, Daktari. He has had.
All right. You can't come on my television and insult me when I've been doing donkey work for Biafran people for 4 years. Every morning. Waking up and I'm losing my voice. It's like those stupid, some people in Zimbabwe. They're stupid people somewhere. You do their work for since 1997. I've been telling them about this regime change. They don't listen. Now it is coming. They are panicking. Trousers. They are going to kill people. They are going to smash people on the streets of Osaka. I'm fed up with Africa. Kabisa. I'm fed up. I'm fed up, Kabisa. I don't beg food. You do things for Africa for free. To tell people, remove work envelope. They don't want to listen. So what do you expect me to do? Mnataka nifanye nini? What do you want me to do? If you leave work envelope here, it will come back to haunt you. And the people just look at me like I'm a madman. Go to school and study the thing I studied. Go! Watch me. Media take over the show. I'm sorry. Such things annoy a person. I've been doing things free. And then you find a Nigerian writing such a comment. Stupid. I've been standing by the people of Biafra, the people of Amazonia, the people of Gambia. I am the one who created a revolution in Gambia. When General Yahya Jammeh removed all radio, I took my satellite station. My satellite phones were in Gambia to remove. It's only me who has done it. Have they paid me? Stupid people. Don't want that. Never. There are people not to play about with this television station. We have come from far. When we knew there would be virtual television, did the people know? Did the people know? How many people knew? I knew 4 years ago. You have more brains than I have. Stupid.
Ceasefire, Doc.
No. Boss, there are certain comments that we can take. You know, I've come from very far with this television station. I've suffered. You could not tell anybody that you have a television station online and they agree with you. They say, what is it? Put it on TV. Now, where are they? Where are they? Everybody is here. Everybody is here now. This is not a commercial TV that you pay us to talk. No, it's a community TV to educate some people like this guy here, Victor, needs to be educated. Even Facebook cannot allow you to insult Facebook. Yeah, tell me where you insult the owner of Facebook and you stay there. When we are giving you free services, we are broadcasting programs about Biafra for free. No Biafran has ever given me a penny. And I've been doing it for 4 years. And some stupid lumpen washing plates somewhere. And doing fraud in Dubai and in China. There are shamans on this continent. That's why God has landed there that way. There are shamans everywhere. In Britain, visas were put there because of Nigerians. In Dubai, the same. In China, the same. The same behavior. They are very bad people. You can't do business with them. Educated or what? You can't. Especially those of Buhari. You can't. They will con you. They will steal a car before the container arrives at Port Lagos. What to? That's why they have killed Africa, Yemen. So when you come on this TV with such comments, be prepared. You'll also not even answer me, but your family watching you will be ashamed. I will send the package. You don't know me. Thank you very much, Miriam.
All right, Doctor, thank you. And I think, Victor, please get your facts right.
There's no please, Miriam. No, that's not a comment for you. It brings you down. You are the one who speaks about Africa more.
Now, I'm just telling you to check his comments.
And the news was done by you, not Matang. And for me to see someone say, we saw Buhari in Bamako. So we reported like any other person. If you know Buhari is Djibouti, bring the ghost to us. I am one of those who has doubted Buhari's capability. I support you. Then you come here to tell me rubbish. What rubbish? Stupid. Kwenda just go and eat your yam. Leave my station. You think there will be no Kenyans and the East Africans to listen? Talker.
Listen.
Stupid. Thank you.
All right, Doctor. Victor, please check your facts and go through our older shows. You'll see we've always been consistent with what you're saying here. So thank you so much, the rest of our viewers. So, Doctor, before we get to quickly our topic of the day, of course, President Uhuru Kenyatta is meant to be a meeting today with the governors. So on page 5, they say record cases as President set to revise restrictions. Page 5 of the Standard newspaper, it says COVID-19 cases have increased by almost 10,000 since the lockdown lockdown order in Nairobi, Mombasa, and Mandera was lifted on July 6th, 2020. Similarly, the number of deaths went up by 100 during this period, with 280 persons dead so far. And within this period, the country recorded not only the highest number of deaths in 24 hours, but also the cases. And even with that, the president is set to meet with the governors today. I don't know, before we move quickly to our topic of the day, Doctor, perhaps Prof, what were your expectations from this meeting that President Uhuru Kenyatta will be having with our county bosses?
It is now very clear that there is a failure of the system. Mm-hmm. The system has collapsed. The governors have not brought out the expectations of what we expected them. Most of the governors went to buy body bags in preparation for people to die instead of prevention. This disease has no medicine. This disease has methods, so you must prevent. There is no vaccine yet. We must prevent people from dying, not encourage people to die. But when the governors of this country seated at the State House with the president now, they go and buy bodyguard bags. They go and buy cemeteries. They go and buy coffins. They get budgets instead of buying. I have not seen any governor who has bought extra beds, who has bought extra tents, to turn tents into hospitals, into makeshift hospitals.
I think only one of them, Doctor, of Machakos, and even on the front pages of the Star newspaper, perhaps if the production could show that.
Yes,
only him has gone out of his way to prepare.
The rest, nobody has prepared. Mr. President, the truth is being told. The situation out there in the county is very bad. So new measures should come in without hurting people who are following the regulations. New measures should come in to curb the drinking wee hours. Mr. President, people are drinking, and the people who are drinking are people seated near you there. There are people with big cars, Range Rovers, V8, those who pretend to be close to the government, who show their cards and they go and open up clubs at night, Mr. President. Yes, they are misusing that leeway.
That privilege. Mm-hmm. They're abusing the
privilege.
Mm-hmm.
They are misusing it. This thing is here. It is everywhere in Africa. It is killing people. And if the government says don't drink after 9 o'clock, go home and stay with your wife. If you have bed bags in your bed, then go and sit in your car in your compound. Because they are bed bags. There are some people who have molested their wives. They don't want to go home. There are some people who beat up their husbands, their wives, their children. These are the people causing us problems. They have their own problem, like a Sakaja. They have a drinking problem. And we are not going to keep quiet here, Mr. President, to say you destroy all of us. No. There are some people are very bad. Let them increase fine. Parliament increase this to the money paid to 2 million. If you are caught drinking during this COVID, 2 million shillings. Don't say 15,000. The Public Health Act must be reviewed, Your Excellency. Review the Public Health Act. Tell the cabinet. Tell them to make a paper quickly to the. This thing is going to stay with us here for a long time, Your Excellency.
Right.
This is mambo from today. Hakuna mambo mimi David to speak while looking down, because I've seen whatever I've been speaking on this TV It has come to pass. It has come to pass. 4 years ago, the same. I was speaking of the same things. February, 4 months ago, I was speaking of 5 months ago. I was saying the same. I warned Africa that to be prepared. This thing is coming. I've studied international intelligence systems. I swear, even if you give me an exam on them, I will pass. Even when my eyes are closed. And I knew when America started leaving China, I knew there was a problem. But because I'm a black African man who went to school, whom Africans point fingers at, because they said that one. Have you seen now? Have you seen now where we are? Where are we? You needed a white man to come and tell you. In fact, you know why? Because he's a bit white.
He's lighter.
Light. From Ethiopia. They didn't want to listen to Matanga.
No, but doctor, the other day I think the Ministry of Health listened. Remember when we were here on Friday and we were saying instead of them coming out and saying people with the pre-existing conditions, you should go ahead and take care of yourself, but they're not giving specifics on how they could go and make sure that they're safe. I saw them addressing that on Saturday, exactly telling the diabetes people what to do, how to take care of themselves. So to some extent, the Ministry of Health listens. So we will continue doing the good job of yes.
William, do you know why?
Of raising these
questions.
questions.
Because I sent, and let me now say it openly publicly here. I sent the number to Dr. Mangagi. I sent a number to Dr. Mukai Kagwe, and the pictures now every morning. I tell them to tell their PA to watch what we talk here. Mm-hmm. Yes.
So I'm glad
because we are the foot soldiers, German. What German are you? Kuiba pesa za serikali. You are still, don't steal government money. Tell the truth. We are helping Uhuru Kenyatta. We are not helping zombies. Yeah.
All right.
What have I done wrong? When I tell you that these things are happening, they are happening. Watu wanakunywa usiku mpaka 4 a.m. Another man sent me a message yesterday that beer glasses, and it's another lost. Some people have lost souls. That the beer glasses can transmit the corona. Then I answered him, what about soda glasses? Don't you drink soda in a glass? He never answered back. You know? There are some people, because they don't drink alcohol, they hate. It's like a root hating all of us who drink alcohol. Yet he takes more tea and he doesn't grow fat. So what is wrong?
I think the reason why the drinking places are being closed is because once people drink, they're not able to observe. Do we beat people when we drink alcohol? That is not the reason why it was closed. It's because a lot of people, when they drink, they're not able to control themselves. And statistics have shown they don't care about social distancing so much. So that is why, it has been closed down, but not for any other reason. So, Professor, even as President Uhuru Kenyatta meets with the governors today, what are your expectations? Are you looking forward to another lockdown? And will that even be a good idea right now?
Thank you, Miriam. The government has done everything at its disposal to ensure that we have combated this pandemic. I have mentioned here and again that let COVID-19 be declared a national disaster. Let this faction be removed from the governors, because the governors themselves, they have shown fear and appeared miserable and vulnerable that they are not up to the task. So the government should move ahead and get out this faction so that we get focus, like the governor of Machakos and other governors, those who have managed to do this. We rocked Nairobi. Did you see people bribing policemen up to 50 shillings, putting in an envelope of 200? So what we need to do, to me now, I'm packaging and I'm appealing to Kenyans to change their behavior. Dr. Masanga, those of us who don't drink, we are not against those who drink. But as you drop one down the road and second down the road, your behavior start changing. And you even start saying that this COVID is not even there. So what we need to do now, Miriam, we need to invest more time on behavioral change, because behavioral change, we can change lives. Because now, even if the president comes to measures of rocking Nairobi and Mombasa, as I've seen some of the governors suggest, fine, but this disease has gone all over the country. So the disease is here with us. So what we need to do, we have said that we change the strategy. More awareness needed to be created. Governors need to take their job serious, so that we help the president. But as the numbers are keeping on increasing, and as I've said this one, the more numbers we are able to test, it gives us more numbers of cases. What do we do when we discover that we have got these positive cases? You take care of yourself and take care of all, so that you become. So the more numbers we test and the more numbers we get, in any event, Miriam, the number of those who are recovering is high. As we have said, COVID-19 is a simple disease and a dangerous disease. But if we change our behavior, we will just say this pandemic.
All right, thank you so much. And I think Daniel Wesonga, good morning. I think you've joined us. All right, as Daniel fixes that, Samson, so in governors are opposed to return to partial lockdown, but are instead rooting for strict adherence of Ministry of Health guidelines in fighting the COVID-19 pandemic. Council Governors Chairperson Wycliffe Oparanya has said. So the governors are opposed, and they're now saying that there should be a strict adherence to the Ministry of Health, measures, and we know there hasn't been a strict adherence. How are they going to make sure that Kenyans strictly adhere to these measures that have been put in place?
Thank you so much, Miriam. Just to answer your question, allow me also to put my sentiments on the expectation that I have. Then later on, I'll come to your question.
Go ahead.
Now that the governors and the president are meeting today, I have three major expectations. One, I expect the president to rein on the governors to make the relevant infrastructure. Relevant is the word. Infrastructure. Infrastructure in terms of the isolation centers, beds, in a bid to respond to the surge. I also expect the governors the president to rein on the governors to initiate relevant bylaws to complement the already existing ones, like the bylaws with regards to how the patients are handled, the ones that are dying, how do they handle their bodies. And again, I also expect the president to put the governors to task to ensure that there is a harmonious working relationship with the national government. There have been some lapses, so I expect working relationship between the county government and the national government. So, to me, to your question, you said some governors are proposing stricter measures. I totally agree with them. But now to achieve this, I think first of all we need to sensitize the wananchi, because you can't force people to. There will be what we need to do. We do civic education. Let us talk to our people. Let us tell them to embrace behavior change, just like the professor said. Otherwise, they won't be able to understand the need for this. Let us have let us have their attention. Let us convince them that this thing is real, so that they should support the government. Otherwise, back to you in studio.
All right, thank you so much, there, Samson.
What is the point here?
Yes.
What's the point did you make? We want a point. What point you want the government to have? One, You want the president to tell the government, the governors, you have not done enough. That's point number one. Make your point. Two, you want to tell the governors to improve the services back where they come from. Three, it is very clear that there is nothing down there. They should not deceive the president that they have something down there. Yes, Governor Anyangonyong, whatever, they have done nothing. What's wrong with you, boss? You are you have this problem there. The governor was telling people to grow flowers in the middle of the road. That when there are no hospital beds, there is no priority. Samson, those are your 3 points.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you, Doctor, for making them clear for all of us. Thank you so much. Daniel has joined.
Miriam, if I could just come in, maybe on what Doctor is saying.
Daniel, good morning.
Kisumu,
good morning to you.
Good morning.
Yes.
Good morning, Miriam, and
Welcome.
the panel. Just to make a point to add on what Dr. Masanga said, in Kisumu, we had a long-standing stalemate between the county government and the medical practitioners. The doctors there had not been paid for months. And these are county that also is coming on the table to tell the president to ease up measures on COVID-19. I think we don't need to listen to such kind of governors, and I condemn the kind of leadership that we have in Kisumu, as much as also we have the same problem in Busia County, where Governor Jamong has not invested more in hospitals. And we had a case even in Homa Bay where they bought the beds, but they had nowhere to put them. So I think it's a very miserable situation back in the counties.
So when today, Daniel, the same question that everybody else has answered, today President Uhuru Kenyatta is meeting with the county bosses, that is the governors there. What are your expectations from this meeting?
Yes, my expectation, Miriam, of course, is that we do intensify and heighten stringent measures that will ensure that this pandemic does not become some kind of a disaster to our people. And of course, as Dr. Mazanga said there, as Samson has said, we are not prepared as a people. Our counties are not yet prepared. And in case of anything, then the future is very precarious. And that is why you saw some governors procuring land for graves and buying body bags. Of course, from their side, they know that they're incapable. And therefore, let the president do whatever he will do in terms of making sure that the country remains in a safe pair of hands. We should not leave it to the governors. Let the governors bring their points, but the president has to assess, because these are people who have failed this country. They were given enough time that the health sector was devolved to them. They have given money to improve it, but they never improved it. So whichever decision that the president will take, either whether to lock up the country or whatever decision he'll take, it doesn't matter. It will be at the best interest of for the people of Kenya, because the counties have failed us completely 100%, Miriam.
Thank you so much. And Doctor, just to add...
But before Miriam, you come in.
Yes.
Look, we have said this time and time again. We might be talking about the governors. What about the committee? One of the things that is creating us difficulties, and let the government here, is the number of donations that have been given. It discourages a lot to hear that some of this money is being quenched by the thirst of thieves. You know? You people are not talking about this point. In Kisumu,
the billions,
and everywhere. You know, people are quenching this money, Professor. People are eating this money. We need accountability of every penny. So many merchants have now mushroomed to be suppliers of certain things. And they are siphoning money out of the hard-earned contributions that are coming. So we need transparency also. to fight COVID when there is corruption, it doesn't help. The Minister of Health told us there are some sharks who are still hiding in that building. Can he name to us today these sharks and we smoke them? We want to smoke some people. The cartels that are frustrating Mutahi Kagwe, he cries every day. Now he's going before the president without telling the president, who are these sharks? Yeah. There you are. They are here. Who are these? Who are eating the money? Who are those?
Yes, and Dr. Matsanga, perhaps Mutahi Kagwe said that he was going to transfer those cartels that were in the Afia House to different workstations. I think as a country, it is high time we got rid ourselves of these kind of characters in our system. And the remedy for such scrupulous individuals is not to transfer them, because if you transfer them, these are keen to transferring impunity to other levels of government. The best remedy is to look for the criminality that these individuals have been involved into and be able to bring them to justice and sack them, let them go home. If someone is found culpable of stealing public resources, of floating procedures of procurement to enrich themselves, of any kind of, or maybe engaging in any kind of corruption, let them be implicated, let them be brought before the court of justice and be sent packing. There's no remedy in transferring corrupt individuals in this country. I think that is what Mutahi Kagwe ought to have done. We wouldn't be having this problem where we do have some money being questioned where it has gone in regards to fighting this pandemic. I think he ought to have done the house cleaning before coming to tell us that this house up there's some cartels inside it. If there's cartels, we need a quick fire. We don't need to be bogged in a cat and mouse battles, Dr. Matsanga.
Yes, indeed. And Doctor, just to add on what you're saying, there on the Daily Nation front pages, a scandal of 42 counties that can't handle coronavirus. Now the push to have counties prepare for COVID-19 is slowly turning into a scandal after it emerged that some governors lied that they had attained the 300 isolation bed capacity. An inspection ordered by President Kenyatta ahead of his crisis meeting on the pandemic today has revealed that only 5 counties and not 26, as reported by the Council of Governors last week, have a set of 300 beds. They're even lying. How do you lie about this very important thing? How do you lie? Because the last time we checked, they had told us 26 counties are prepared. Right now, we are being told after an inspection, because President Uhuru Kenyatta sent his own people to go inspect all these 47 counties, and the report was only 5 counties are actually prepared out of the 47 counties we have in the country. Doctor, I'm perplexed. They could even lie about such important things.
Yeah, you are. You have a governor who lies before the public that he signed a document when he was drunk. Africa. What type of Africa is this? What type of Africa? Oh, hallelujah. What brought me back here? What is this? What type of Africa? Why was I born here anyway? A governor who lies and says he went to sign a document when he was drunk, just because he has been called in a certain office in Karen and told that confused the whole exercise of what Nairobi is going through.
And Dr. Matsanga,
it's drunk. How can you expect such a governor? If it was, in fact, right now, NMS is more prepared for us, Corona men, if we start falling on the street of Nairobi than this governor prefect of the people of prison. Mm-hmm. Prison prefect. How do you elect a person who is a prison prefect to become a governor? What is this we got into? Why do you cover yourselves in a constitution? You cover yourself in a constitution and then you come to say constitution. Who tells you the constitution is not immovable? Let's move.
I have said that I don't want this where this point is coming out. As it is now, and the way Dr. Masanga is putting it,
yes,
people are making money out of COVID-19, period. The sooner the president, if the governors can write the
can you imagine,
president that
Professor,
they are ready.
They lied
When
at 26
they are ready,
counties. Only 5 counties are prepared.
Even that one makes him to take charge, to have somebody like Brigadier Major Buddy to take charge. Even the COVID committee, honest to speak the truth. Where are they? What are they doing? What are their programs? So the president should know on COVID-19 is on its own. And the sooner he listens to us and other progressive voices, so that we team up and say this one. Otherwise, he will be let down. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much. So that is quite a revelation that should worry a lot of Kenyans. And I pray and I hope also that these names will be made public, the governors who lied, so that the people who elected them into these positions would would hold them accountable. So we just don't want them to be covered. We need to know who are these governors who lied about such an important thing. They're hoping that, it will not be found out. How do you lie? How do you lie about such a thing, Doctor?
People lie. People are lying. People lie.
People have been lying.
Told people lie. People lie. You look at the lies that are being brought in BBI. What professors just said is 100%. The president is on his own. He's even addressing them there. And some of them to say, we drank too much tea. We did not hear what he said. Yeah, when they come out, it is the role of the media. The main media. Look at the main media. Look at the main media. What is our role as the media? Professor Daniel and Samson and the media, what have we done right? Yesterday you watched the program on KTN, Inside the Politics. They brought on the Sonko's men from that man called Murwa, who cannot even speak. They brought him there. Then they brought another MCA who loves Sonko, who even cleans Sonko's shoes. Then they brought another guy. What was this one? Karoli, the lawyer, Kachuchumba, something, who loves Ruto. If Ruto says he's crying, he will collect the tears. So you tell me how many of these people can speak for Nairobi? There were only 2 people. Dismas Mukua and Mark Bichache, who spoke sense. The rest, so if the main media is doing tribal politics, because the anchor is a Kamba, bringing other Kambas to defend a Kamba man. Where are we? You are blaming COVID-19? Are we not blaming the tools of mass hysteria? Professor, you saw that program yesterday. We have a problem. How many TVs are dedicating a full hour, like you and I? We are doing, our voices are going because 1 full hour, we have to talk about the bad habits of Africa.
Yes, and I think, Dr. Matsanga, the Kenyan media over time has come to approve mediocrity. And the other day I saw them airing the Sonko, Governor Mike Sonko scorecard. How do you air a scorecard of someone who had failed a country for 2 years without doing anything. There were 2 barren years. He was not working for the people.
Songa, don't waste time. They have paid the directors. They have paid Koinange. They pay him. They pay everybody. Hey. What are you saying? What? Baba, they pay. Sonko has paid them to show. If the owners of the television don't know, let them know. Let them know.
So, Doctor, this tweet that Mike Sonko did, Nairobi governor, answering to some one of his fans there, and he said, hawa watu wa State House walini confused na pombe kwanza by the time I was meeting the president. So what does this say? I don't want to judge him as a person, but what does this say in terms of leadership? You should always be sober-minded when you're making certain important decisions, I would expect.
Miriam, you have hit the point on the nail, on the last thing on the coffin. A leader like that in Europe, in older democracies, my fellow panelists, he would have gone down resigning. From that broadcast alone, I showed you a few days ago, I showed you MPs who sleep in a cubicle in Sweden. Didn't you see that one? Mm-hmm. In an apartment. They use bicycles. Here MPs have got gatherers. In fact, it is for us, the common poor people, to listen to the noise of the oil, the engine. In fact, when they reach near us, they raise it. Yes, so that you who has paid the tax, they raise the engine. Not like a Wesonga's BMW. This is V8. They raise it so that you, the common man, can even know you are useless. We are done. Everywhere in Africa, this thing is happening. Look at the big cars. I don't know why Africans like big cars. While democracies that have flourished, that give us donations, use bicycles.
Yes,
Africans like big cars. Mm-hmm. Look at, even if you go to London, when you go to London, you will find Jamaicans, Africans, Nigerians, those ones, Ghanaians, the type of car they want even a lorry they want to be seen jumping out of the lorry in the streets of London. When already corrected with the tires, we have a problem, man. And then the Bazungu themselves, look at the Swedish parliament, look at the MP. You find our MPs going to hire 200 suits imported from Malaysia. Look at that. Do we have this type of hats? We don't. Therefore, how can you have a better governor?
All right, Doctor.
How?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Miriam, I just want to add something on the question you asked about Governor Mike Sonko. And I think it is very shameful for him even to come out to claim that he was given a glass of whiskey and he had to hand over power to the Nairobi Metropolitan Service. And it reminds us of the story of the biblical story of Jacob and Esau, where Esau sold his birthright to Jacob for a plate of food. So it's quite unfortunate that he can come into the public and just say that I was confused with about a glass of whiskey. That was a cheap statement, and we need to treat it as such. And it's very shameful for a man, as a governor he is, to bring such a lame excuse on the table.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And the two, there is a saying in Africa, and I quote, I say it takes an African village to train a child. Any of you, have you heard about it?
Go on.
It takes a village to raise a
It
child.
takes an African village. What does that mean? It means all of us, when we grew up, we were the responsibility of the village, of the clan, of the whole village.
The whole community.
People would know this Matranga is in a senior secondary school. What is he doing on the road at 7 o'clock with small girls running around hiding in the bush? The village leaders will check on you. Do we check? You are talking of mindset. Haven't we destroyed our mindset? These days, we have destroyed. How can we have a good? Is there any village that cares about the child?
No.
When he's growing? Show me one village. Professors' children. Show me how many of the relatives of professor who come and report to him that we saw your child smoking when he was arriving in the home. He hid the cigarette.
None.
How many? We are not united at all. We have brought this bad behavior. That's why we don't wash hands, we don't wear masks, we don't wear this, we don't keep distance. We have bad behavior. We have brought trousers that are tied on the hips instead of the waist. We have children tying their trousers in the hips, in the knees. In fact, soon they are making a trouser that ties in the knees, so that the whole part up here, including the buttocks, are empty. This is the Africa we must condemn. That's why you see leaders like Buhari go on killing people, because they have found a very bad Africa. They kill without any notice. Leaders like a Paulo Biya kill people without notice. Nobody is complaining. How many people are complaining when people are dying in Central Africa? How many of you here know that people are dying in Central Africa daily? When Libya is burning, how many Africans are complaining? Because we have copied the trouser tying system in the trouser, in the hips, not in the waist. A trouser is supposed to be in the waist, not on the buttocks, not down, not in the knees. We have copied very bad behavior. That's why people in Kenya are saying, where is Corona? Show us Corona. How can you say that? The president must come out very harsh. I disagree with Museveni on a number of things, but rely on this one on Corona. He kept the country until Saturday. Until Saturday, one lady fell in Uganda. Am I wrong?
You're right.
For 4 months, Uganda did not have any death related, apart from death of accidents, but death related with COVID-19 until Saturday.
Yes.
That is the behavior. Another thing is, you saw Museveni is very good at administrative strictness. He went and cut the bridge. You know, he took a grader to cut the bridge between Kenya and Uganda. In Ruakaka, have you seen that? So that the people don't use it to come at night. It's not a bad way. He has done a very good thing. He went to Bukwa, cut the bridge, and left it only under the bridge where cars can be used. But these small bridges around the Uganda border have been cut, and they said they will build them.
At the appropriate time.
Yes. Because to stop people from Kenya or
The
Uganda
Panya
crossing
routes, yeah.
to breed, cross-breeding, breeding.
Absolutely.
Chukua corona.
Absolutely.
Uchukue Uganda, rudisha Kenya.
Yes, and
Now,
we're not,
this man
and
is
Doctor, we are not complaining because we understand President Museveni has the responsibility of protecting the lives of the people of Uganda. So we are supporting that. Whatever to make all of us safe.
That is the responsibility of any president to protect life and property
of the
and
people.
of his people.
Yes.
Now you see Mr. Harwale with his cheap politics goes to Ruakaka near Bumbo, near my county. I think he's doing rebel activities. The security agencies should be checking on Mr. Harwale. He's mobilizing rebel activities around that border point. Yes! Yes!
Yes.
There is evidence coming. You don't worry. And we are not going to keep quiet. We shall help Uhuru Kenyatta. We know something going on there. Harwale is moving with high speed, organizing rebels. There is a message, coded message passing. Mr. Harwale, we know some of us have been in this field for a long time, Bwana. Don't play about with Uhuru. We have been there also. We are watching your steps, the language you are using. You are going to my district. We know what you are doing. We know you and the group who call yourself militant group of Uto. We know you. Yeah. This television does not hide. This popularity, we know what you are doing. The president says no rallies, you are holding rallies. You are going to Bumbo, you are going to Trans Nzoia, you are going to Saboti, you are trying to address people.
Dr. Matsanga, one unfortunate photo I saw this week is that of Dr. Boni Halwale shaking hands with the mother of Mount Elgon Member of Parliament, Fred Kaponi. And the woman appears to be in her 80s, a very old age. And he didn't even have a mask on. And right now we've been told that you should not expose these elderly people to COVID-19. And it was very unfortunate. They were shaking hands and quite very close. For a medical doctor to do that, then it's unfortunate from his side.
Me, I speak my mind. Now I've delivered another information. It's up to the security agency to follow Songa. It is there now. Harwale is not doing politics. Harwale is doing mobilization of stage number 2 of Tanga group. Kwecha. You didn't know it. Let him come and say, I was not there. We know what he talked. Yes.
All right.
The people that you talk to there talk the same language like Matsangas. Do you remember in 2012, a force that was purportedly being trained somewhere? Do you remember? Did you hear that in the newspapers? So Harwale usifikiri sisi wajinga. Tunakuangalia macho. Some of us have been in this field terribly stronger. We have been in those areas of Chebukule, Chebutais, Trans Nzoia, Mount Elgon. Some of us, we know what coded message you are sending. Since your boss cannot move, you are the one moving. Security agencies hapo ndio hapo. Mimi meshamwaga nje. So that wananchi this time know where the trouble is going to come from. We document the truth. Me, I will not hear anything and I keep quiet. I'm fed up of writing. Nakuja hapa kwa TV na mwaga nje. Harwale is mobilizing for plan B. Full stop. Yes. Look at all of them. Look at Hassan Omar. You think Hassan Omar likes Uhuru Kenyatta? No. He doesn't. He wanted him to be jailed forever. He can't come to the group where Matanga is because he fears. I almost threw him out of the plane. You didn't hear the story, ask Wako. Amos Wako. If there was a war opening the door of the plane. These guys who look for money that I bought witnesses for 2,000 shillings. Look at that one. He's Lupen here from Gatundu South. Called Moses Korea. Sile. Wanamnunua witnesses. Then today, you see, I don't know what life is for you people. Thank you very much.
Yes.
William.
Now let's talk about the revenue, Doctor. Before, I know our time is far gone, but I think this is something important that at least we should have.
Talk about
the revenue sharing, dilemma that we seem to be having right now.
I will make my statement and then we close.
All right.
And the professor can make his statement because the rest of the two agree with me.
All right. We'll find out.
Now,
yes.
My statement on revenue is the following.
Doctor, before you make your statements, perhaps a small introduction there. And the Senate, for the fifth time on Thursday, failed to adopt the third basis formula for sharing revenue among counties during a special sitting as financial operations in the counties take a hit. The formula was developed by the Commission on Revenue Allocation and forwarded to the Senate for consideration last year. The implication of the third formula is the number of counties that have been receiving a higher allocation because of their huge landmass and high poverty indices will receive less, according to the Division of Revenue Act 2020, which equitably allocates the revenue generated at the national level between the national pass and the counties. 316.5 billion Kenya shillings has been allocated to the devolved units in the 2020-2021 financial year. Now, the differences between senators whose counties are likely to gain and those that lose have been the biggest hindrance to the adoption of this formula. So, Senate has refused to agree on this matter. So, there you go. Perhaps the rest, and then, Doctor, you can end it for us. We start with Samson, who has been very quiet there. Samson?
Yes.
Go ahead.
Thank you,
yes.
Miriam. I know this is a topic that really touches on the interest of Prof. He really dispensed some wisdom on the same. But then I really don't understand why this particular topic is bringing a lot of emotions. The only thing I see is politics. Like, for example, you had Senator Irungu Kangata talking about giving ultimatums to the NASA side. Mm-hmm. NASA also gave a rebuttal. So the only thing I see here is the politics, and it will take the two gentlemen, President Uhuru Kenyatta and Right Honorable former Prime Minister, to sit down and reign on their various camps. They can call for NEC meetings, reign on their camps, have consultative forum. Mm-hmm. Otherwise, I don't see any problem. This can be solved. This is a political problem. It can be solved by the two gentlemen. Thank you.
Yeah, and Daniel, under the new formula, Wajia's county allocation would be cut by 1.9 billion Kenya shillings, while Mandera and Marsabit would see their revenues drop by 1.8 billion Kenya shillings. Other losers include Garissa, Tana River, Mombasa, Kwale, Narok, Isiolo, Kilifi, Turkana, Kitui, Makueni, Samburu, Taita Taveta, Tharaka Nithi, and Vihiga. And the winners who will seem to be winning on this new formula will include Kiambu, Nairobi, Uasin Gishu, Nandi, Kajiado, Nakuru, Laikipia, Trans Nzoia, Kirinyaga, Baringo, Bomet, and also West Pokot there. I don't know. Have you been following this debate, and what is your take on it, Daniel?
Yes, I've been following the debate, Miriam. And there's something Dr. Masanga always said, that we brought devolution without necessarily doing the evolution of our counties. And in the recent past, we've been having most counties are returning, like Turkana, like Isiolo, returning back some of this money back to the national government because they had nothing to do with it. So these are counties that still don't have a certain infrastructural capacity to handle this amount of money. And I think I support the proposed revenue allocation formula. Why? Because one, you cannot say that you are going to give a same amount of money to a county like Turkana, which has a population of less than 1 million, and with now, let's say Kiambu, with a population of 3 million, you cannot give them the same amount of money. You know, equality declares that they receive the same amount of money. But justice is when these people are allocated money depending on the number of needs and depending on the demographic figures of which Dr. Masanga talked about today in the morning. We need to check the demographic composition of these counties. We look at the numbers. How many people are there in Kiambu County? How many are in need of health facilities? How many children do we have in Kiambu County? How many schools do we have? How many schools do we have in Turkana County? How many children do we have there? Then from there, we can be able to allocate this money accordingly. And yesterday also, Professor Jared Onyari and Dr. Masanga also talked about the money is not allocated to the geographical map. It's allocated to individuals, people. So if you do the simple math, like there's an article I read today in the morning, in the past 3 years, you find that the whole of Northeastern, with a population less than 3 million, has received close to 260 million, while Kiambu, with almost the same number of people, has received only 60 billion. So a man in Kiambu in the past 3 years has only received 21,000 out of devolution, but a man in Northeastern province, former Northeastern province, has received close to 81. So such kind of disparity is what we are seeking to sort in this new formula. And that is why I firmly support 1 man, 1 shilling, 1 vote. That one will be a fair way, justifiable way of doing it.
Right, thank you so much. And Professor, the Standard has established that at least 30 senators are in support of a motion by Nairobi's Johnson Sakaja seeking to ensure no county gets reduced allocation based on the third formula that will see regions that have been receiving a higher allocation because of the huge landmass and high poverty indices get less. Forget the huge landmass, but let's look at perhaps the high poverty indices. I mean, Professor, I know you've been on the other side when it comes to this conversation.
You know, Miriam, I'm a development professor. I teach development. A mistake was done, and the mistake has been done for the last 8 years. That being the case, this is a political problem which needs a political fix. In fact, you can take it for free. Even if we can debate here, we can say for population, you can do this one. The only keyword for this is PPI. Because devolution has been identified, we want to increase money. When we increase that money, let us bring the component of peace, or the component of population, demographics. But as it is now, you are talking about geographical landmass. Yes, you are arguing. But you know someone from Northeastern to move from one village to go to an health center is 200 kilometers. How long will it, how much money will you need to build a road like this? So this is a conversation. This is a debate which needs to go on. And the sooner we go through PPI, we have given the recommendation that we are increasing revenue, because you cannot give a child food simply because he's eating faster than the other. The other one may be eating slowly, but we don't do that. So to me, that's how it is, because let us not polarize the country simply because we cannot agree. Let us continue using the formula which has been there. Then we pass PPI and the problem we sort it out.
Mm-hmm. All right, Doctor, now you can end it for us.
Thank you very much, Miriam, and the viewers. a constitution is never static, it's dynamic. The people of Kenya agreed in 2010 that the constitution has 20% of things that need to be corrected.
Correct.
When Kibaki and Raila Amolo Odinga worked their way at night, midnight of that day in 2010 to pass this constitution, they knew there were faults and fault lines. Time has come that the fault lines within the constitutional framework of the Republic of Kenya are redefined, remodeled, remolded, expunged, whatever word you want, remove some, added some, what you want to make for the present situation and the generation. It is a pity that at this moment, the entire BBI process has turned itself into a reparational process which could derail the main reason as to why BBI was put in there in the first place. It is also, I hope from the beginning, my team will pick up that. My takeaway. It is also very important. I agree with the professor. And I agree with Daniel. And all of you. Why, how do you determine what can come for a school when another school within the location has no desks, but is within the same location? Do you put more desks in this school, or do you give that school without desks more money and give the school more textbooks? Professor said he's a manager, he teaches a project.
Development studies.
Development, yes. Do you develop by denying a school books, by putting books in a school that has books, and then deny the one that has no books, and remain with them and add more books here, or you seek to equalize the books such that both schools are on the same level? It is a long debate in which we need not to open now. But the truth is, and I want to say it, for any person who has done economics, planning will agree that you don't plan based on hyper politics. You plan based on data. And what is data? What is it that you call data? Data is the number of people who died, the number of people who are born, the number of people who are unemployed, the number of people of census in that particular place, the number of people who smoke, the number of people who have diabetes, the number of people who have TB, malaria, sleeping sickness. What disease can I name and live? Planners plan with that. What is that called? That subject is called demographics. the use of demographics to determine the amount of developmental money. Now I'm coming to the professor. Let me teach here. The professor offers, I teach. He offers, remember there are two categories. The doctor teaches. I am supposed to be a teacher still. The professor is supposed to offer a document. So I break the document for the professor. And let me break it down for you. The developmental cash that we talk about comes as a result of the birth, death, TB, corona. Mix all this. Plus, how far are you near the road? How far near the airport? How will you transport your goods? What are your needs? That's why you cannot buy fish and import fish to Kisumu. You'll be very stupid man to import fish from China and take it to Kisumu or Siaya.
They did that, doctor.
It is very, that's why the parliament came up to stop fish.
It did not make any sense, you're right.
Yes, it doesn't. So if the county is full already, or it has no capacity to take anything, do you force it to eat fish? When there are other people who need fish, who are hungry. Look at that. So the revenue allocation of Kenya should depend on those factors. What is the factor that can make you distribute this money equally? There are more children in Kakamega who will go without school, closed desks, than there are people in some regions in Kenya where people don't even go to school. And it's not my problem. Don't ask me. It's not my problem to send you to school. If there is a child in Kisii who doesn't go to school, the chief will come to whip the father. Am I wrong, mister?
You're right.
How many Kisii professors are there? Now I am teaching you so that you offer. And listen to my lecture today. We shall start the other program the other time. Because this is touching the Kenyans. Look at this. How many children go to school in Isiolo? How many? Show me. Let's look at the numbers. And how many children need to go to school in Kakamega? In the Rift Valley? How many schools are there that need shelter, iron sheets? Then why are we producing? Why are we producing children? Why don't you stay awake until morning? Why don't you be Mr. Wesonga and Mr. Samson? Yes. Why are you saying why then why? Is there a minister of planning? Why do we plan? Do we plan for the land mass or we plan for the data on the land mass? Answer me.
Yes, I think yes,
do you
I think
plan for the land mass or you plan for the data that exists on land mass?
Very true.
Now, Professor, you are coming in. We have suspended the other topic because this is very important. Do you plan for the land mass or you plan for the data? Do you plan? The governors are buying bodyguards, depending on what? Depending on what? Can Governor Oparanya buy 20 body bags when his population is 1 million? Yes, some counties up there, the population is only 300,000. 90, 200, 120. So do they buy 1 million body bags? No. So the planning department in some of the counties in Kenya cannot plan. It can now, that county can plan for more boreholes. For more boreholes. Do you plan for a storage building in Masabit or Isiolo or Mandela? For what? The weather does not allow. Am I wrong? The weather does not allow a storage building in Mandela of 10 storage building. But the weather in Nairobi allows 11 storage. Jamen, even in the soil terrain, it's different from the soil terrain here. Why is it that Nairobi does not have an underground railway? Why? Why? Alomba, you are listening. And Daniel, you are listening. Miriam, why is Nairobi not having an underground railway? Because it cannot build an underground railway.
Yes.
Nairobi is waterlogged. This is a city ya maji. It's waterlogged. You can't drill tunnels that will sustain the railway. The terrain does not accept. It accepts on the land rail. So, when planning, you should do that. Now, when you are giving out the money, I agree with the professor that there were mistakes made. How do we correct this mistake now? How do the senators correct this mistake? They corrected this mistake for stabilizing and coming out that there are more people in Kakamega than there are. And let's face facts. Are you going to run away from it? Are you going to run away from it? The population of Isiolo is not the same as the population of Kakamega. Let's talk the truth. The population of Mombasa is not the same as the population of Nairobi. The population of Eldoret is not the same as the population of Masabit town. Why do you give the hardship? Why do you give chaos to the governor of Eldoret? More chaos. Umesikia? Why do you put more chaos for Madago to explain why there is more money to do certain things? Then you have another governor somewhere saying, I have even returned the money unused. I wanted the professor to tell me why have these counties returned the money. Do you, Miriam, believe me or not? There are counties that have returned money
and doctors, some of the reasons that they've given as to why. Sorry, let me just clear that up, Daniel. Some of the reasons or excuses that these counties has given is that this money come to them a little bit late when the financial year is almost over, so they're not able to implement some of these things.
No.
That is what they've said in the past.
It is not my problem that the money comes late.
So
even if it comes late, why don't you consume it? Eat it. In the project. No, I'm not going to accept. There are governors in these small counties who return the money and are used to the treasury because there is no project.
Yes.
They say treasury releases that money late. That is what they've always said.
It is not
William.
It is.
But Doctor, can you look at other factors? Maybe, yeah.
Let me ask just a simple question, Miriam.
Yes.
If you are a business person, if you are an entrepreneur, and you are told to build a 5-star hotel in Isiolo, will you go ahead and build that hotel there? You are given an option of building a 5-star hotel in Kiambu, Nairobi, or build it in Isiolo or Turkana. Will you go ahead and build it there? No. Because why? Because there are no incentives there. The priorities of the people, and that is what Dr. Matsanga is saying. The needs of the people of Turkana are not the same needs as those of the people of Kiambu County. You cannot be building roads in Turkana, tarmacking roads in Turkana, roads that even no vehicles are passing there. And here in Nairobi, we do have potholes in the CBD. So we really need to look at priority. What do these people need? What capacity do they have to sustain this kind of development? Or what do the people in the city need? So how much amount of money do we need to give either side of the divide? So we do have a situation where we need a lot of discernment. We need a lot of cool intellect before we can proceed. Because of course we understand there is an issue of equality and equalization fund, but you cannot just be giving them money without taking them through those steps. We need to have some kind of planning on how we can be able to develop these counties before we can be able to allocate them the same amount of money as these other major counties that Dr. Masang is talking about. And that's why he gave an analogy where a school in Turkana has a shortage of teachers. What do you give them? You employ more teachers. A school in Kiambu is lacking textbooks. What do? You don't take their teachers, you take their textbooks. And that is what should be done.
So let's talk about marginalization that perhaps necessitated.
Miriam.
Yes.
Let me also say something.
Miriam.
Go ahead, Samson, and then Professor, you can come in.
You know, there is one thing we call equity, equitable distribution of resources. Yes, we can. At some point we can talk about equality, but in terms of distribution of resources, we cannot distribute resources equally. But we do dispense resources equitably as per the needs of different areas. So I agree. I also agree with the doc that you cannot give the same allocation to a county like Turkana, the same allocation a county like.
But can you, Samson, can you compare the infrastructure in Turkana and Nairobi? I think Turkana would require a lot of money for their infrastructure development compared to Nairobi. No? I'm just trying to understand. Doctor, I'm just trying to understand Samson's point. Yes, go ahead. Samson, complete.
Let me respond.
Yes.
You see, somebody in Turkana might not need flats for them to live, for them to stay. But somebody in Nairobi the needs of Nairobi people might be the same. Might be flats.
When I talk about infrastructure, Samson, I refer to the roads, the hospitals, the schools, and things like that are important. That perhaps Nairobi has better ones compared to those places. So the issue of marginalization, Professor.
Miriam.
Yes.
Can I come in, Professor? You are coming in.
Doctor, why can Professor come in and then you can
Equity. Let me help Samson.
Yes, go ahead.
Samson has brought a very good point here. Equitably is different from should money staying there.
Okay.
Get my point very clearly.
Yes. So equitably
distributed is different than giving a county more money, which now encourages corruption. A governor like Lorokol,
who's that?
Or a huge money staying on account in Masabit, in Samburu, sorry. Lorokol is the governor of where? Samburu, isn't it? Or Masabit. This governor who was charged for buying petrol stations and so on. What is his name?
Lenonkulal.
Coral. What is his county? Samburu.
One of the marginalized county doctors.
See, the type of theft, the Samburu governor, if we had a shilling for a shilling, the Samburu governor would have not stolen the shilling. Because the people would have said, where is our money? But because there was plenty of money on account in Samburu, which was not needed in Samburu, the governor had to take a hand in the coffers to buy petrol stations and to build a house in Karen. Free money. Jamin, I want you to, this is a subject that is more important than Somalia now, because our country is going to be divided over this stupid subject, which is very simple. We rushed devolution without evolution. We made a mistake. Let's agree that we go back to drawing board and try to learn evolution. A governor, Samburu man, had plenty of money because of this type of distribution that the governor ate even money, used it to build a house in Karen, to buy apartments in Karen, to give some money to one shack in this country. Watch out. If you press me further, I'm going to say the shack who took the money. Onyari, try me.
Prof.
Try me now. The shack, the governor found too much money on account. Why not the governor in Kagamega or the governor in UG who has a huge population? By the end of the year, September, his money is finished. While the governor in Samburu still has billions in the bank. And these millions attract first. Why don't you use that money which is lying there if it cannot do other projects? If it has done all the projects it's supposed to do? You want to build a road, Mr. Professor is talking of building the road. To where? To collect what? To collect what? Some of these places, you want to build a Topical road where a car comes like a Christmas. Yes. What will you use the road for? Can you go to Sahara Desert and try to look for water by building a road up to nowhere? Or you use other methods? What is available there for the road? What is available? There, okay. Look, let me convince you, this is a debate. Up there, where Professor Nyali says they need a road to travel, there are 6 people there. The amount of production, they have only 6 camels. Camel, 6 mukaga and kamira and gamira. You know Kisi, you call it Ngamira. You know what Ngamira is in Kisi? The camel, Ngamira.
Prof.
So you are going to look at 6 Ngamiras. Take a road of Topical to 6 Ngamira production. How much milk comes there? Equitable distribution takes the factor that the resources will be used equitably. And equitably means 1 man, 1 shilling, one vote. Why do you do one man, one vote? Universal suffrage. When we reach to one man, one shilling, Mutaki. Why?
Professor, please, yes, come in. Professor, come in, please.
Professor
Miriam.
Yes, go ahead.
Miriam, we should be able to understand this. The technocrats have done their work. They have assembled all the argument that Dr. is advancing, Daniel and Wesonga. Now this thing is not in our hands. It is in the Senate. It is a political question now. And this kind of argument we are talking about, we don't have numbers. Those one who are opposed it, they will bring it down. That's why I say this. BBI, what does it talk about? We have identified the problem facing this country. One of it is devolution, that we need to increase more income percentage to the counties so that we can be able to factor the population. Point on it. Number two, we have talked about shared prosperities. We have talked about corruption. If we can manage to bring down corruption, more money can be gotten to be given to that population component. I did say a mistake was done in the past. And these mistakes will be corrected through BBI because we have audited our constitution and we have found it wanting. It will, the BBI report will be handed by the department, brought in a referendum so that we cure. Now, if we bring that kind of argument, those members of parliament, they don't use the head, they don't use argument, they use the stomach. And there is no Senate, I'm telling you for free, who is going to vote money to be removed from his county to be given to another county to advance your argument. How did we arrive in that first place for 8 years? So the only key one is to have a bigger picture that the elephant is PPI. But if we get deviated from the argument of the squirrels and the sunguras, then we lose it. One, politics has played is ugly face there. There is Tanga who don't want to listen. Even if you preach Tanga 100 times, using that kind of argument, there are some members of parliament, there are some senators, who their counties are going to gain more money. But what have they said? Don't take money from that county to give to us. So the only key of my fellow panelists is to look at the bigger picture which has been identified through PPI. And Miriam, you said that let us not leave someone behind. How do you imagine you talk about a woman who is pregnant, walking 200 kilometers or 300 kilometers to an health center?
In the middle of the night.
In the middle of the night, 300 kilometers, it happens. I teach development, and these are some of the things which we need to agree.
That is the
Let
reality.
me tell you,
in a lot of the counties that
that's the
are perceived
argument.
to be marginalized.
Even some places we are trying to imagine that nothing comes from there. It is only the prosperity that we have not. Do you know that we will get oil from Turkana? The fact that today we are giving them more money, there are some more resources which can be put in those places and develop the rest of Kenya. The future of Kenya, get it from me, is the northern parts of Kenya, where because the southern is where agriculture takes place, we are supposed to live in the northern parts. It could have not been that it is the new constitution which came in, the rate at which Isiolo was coming in. Remember in Isiolo, we are having the upset, we have the which is going all the way to southern Sudan. So we are trying to open the northern corridor, and one day they will also support. So let us not allow one person to die simply because we have got more people in Nairobi. On that one, I differ. You will argue until cows comes home. Let us not take money from one county to give to another county, but we can correct this, fight corruption. Do you know we waste almost 385 billion in a year, which goes to corruption? How much money goes to the counties? 361 billion. So if we manage to slay the dragon of corruption, more money will be gotten to, we will not be quarreling. That is my take. And this is a political process which you need to convince politicians on what kind of account they will vote. So apparently those who are opposed to the argument of the technocrats are more than those who are saying that let's use population.
And even the ones that are opposed, even their counties will lose money, but they've gone ahead to support to oppose this new formula. Now, the ANC party leader Musalia Mudavadi has called for the shelving of the proposed revenue sharing formula to give room for more consultation. Is that what is needed right now? More consultation?
I think,
Daniel,
Miriam, from my perspective, this is a very divisive issue, and people need to look at the bigger picture. We are not trying to say that if we give Nairobi County more money, we are gonna deny Turkana or Isiolo or Samburu what they have been getting from the national cake.
Oh, no. There will be, Daniel, I have the facts here. I can read for you. The losers include Garissa, which will lose 1.2 billion. Tana River will lose 1.5 billion. So they'll actually lose some money.
Yes, it's not, in essence, it's not actually losing, Miriam.
Yes.
Some of these counties, these monies have been staying in their accounts without finding something constructive to do with it. If you build a 5,000 capacity bed hostel in Isiolo or Tana River, be very quite sure, Miriam, this hostel will not have patients to go there. And in every infrastructural or developmental projects that the government undertakes, it has to have some kind of incentive to generate revenue back to the government so that the government is able to run its day-to-day activities. A government is not an NGO where they build schools, they build hospitals, they build roads, and there's no something in return that can be able to bring revenue back to the government. Let me ask, for example, if you build a superhighway in Turkana or the northern frontier, of what essence will that road be if it does not even support maybe trade between Kenya, Ethiopia, and Somalia? So we have to identify some incentives before we can take some development projects to some areas. So, and that's why it's very it's unwise to allocate the same amount of money to some of these counties because the money will sit there. There will be no project that will be done, and that brings about the question of corruption now, where you saw Dr. Masang highlighting where Lennon Klal of Samburu had to take away lots of billions to buy his petrol station, build homes, and
the petrol station. It was a conflict of interest where he wanted all the county's vehicles to be fueled at a particular petrol station. So it's not like he went and So it's a different story.
And of course, Miriam, the county vehicles being fueled there, whatever happens in the county, they just
corruption. It's corruption.
And the money is gone. So I think that is what we should look for. And we had a case in, I think, Karachuonyo, where an MP built a hospital. And this hospital, because there were no patients there, people, it could not be occupied 4 years after it was completed. I have in my area, in Butula, we had a police station which was built, but because there was no need for police officers in that area, the police station stays there, the land, the money that was used to construct the building, lost. So we need to have an incentive before we take some of the development projects, these areas. You cannot build a railway from Nairobi to Turkana. What commodities will the railway be doing? Which people will it be carrying to Turkana? So those are some of the essential questions that we need to ask ourselves.
First of all, can I say something? I kept quiet while you took a lot. I was on another subject. Let me ask one question. Devolution has been there for now almost 10 years.
8 years.
Is it?
8 years.
8 years.
Yes.
Let's go county by county. Let's go. The money has been given for 8 years. Then I want to finish, Professor.
I'm ready for you. I'm ready for you.
Let's go.
Professor is prepared.
Samburu. What is in Samburu that can show you that the money for 8 years things have moved? Do we have a road? Do we have a factory, that a tannery factory for skins? Zero. The money was taken. Huge money was on account. The governor of Samburu used that money to come to the bank and tell the bank manager, I am still the governor for 5 years. Give me a loan. When some governors walk in this country, the town is shaken. There is earthquake when Ojomong is in Busia. Real earthquake. You who has not eaten food last night, you can feel the earthquake in your stomach. There is, when governors enter a bank or a city or a hotel, you can tell. The number of vehicles, the number of bodyguards, the number of doors that are being locked, poo. You think the president has arrived. Let's go to Mandera. It's a border point towards Somalia. Show me one depot, one big depot, one factory, one thing that devolution money has done in Mandera. Apart from telling me roads clean, what? Show me. It is a town towards Somalia. It is a gateway towards Somalia. Mandera should have got quite a lot of things. We should not be buying things in Isli to take to Mandera, to Somalia. We should have bought. People in Mandera would be very rich if they had depots of things that are needed in Jubaland. Show me whether there's planning there. Zero. Come to Isiolo. They are near Meru. Tell me what has been developed. Which can the Isiolo people feel we need this money? Too much money on account again. Can it shock you that 3/4 of those governors in the areas where there was too much money, all of them are in court? Hey! Onyarik doesn't even know.
Professor, we have had cases in Nairobi,
Onyari,
in Kiambu, where they have been charged in court.
Wait, how many of those governors are in court for corruption charges? State it. All the governors from those minority counties have a case. One even wanted to assassinate another person. Actually gave the bullet is stuck in the brain. Where?
Doctor, devolution was meant to cure marginalization. So what I'm getting from your conversation is
devolution was meant.
I say most of the people charged with corruption are from those counties.
Marginalized.
Yes,
that are considered marginalized.
Miriam, and Miriam, devolution was meant to equalize this country and to make sure that the money reaches the grassroots. But unfortunately, I believe that the spirit of devolution was hijacked by
and by equalizing, it was supposed to bring along those who have been left for a long time, so that they're able to be par with the rest of the country.
Yes, but unfortunately, those who are left behind, the leaders are the most corrupt, and they are stealing a lot of this money.
So then now, can we not hold the leaders? Can we not hold the leaders accountable instead of just deciding this thing is not working? Can we hold these few people who are stealing at the expense of the rest of the population who could be benefiting accountable instead of just rubbishing the whole thing? I don't know, Doc.
We have not rubbished. No.
Not that we have.
We want the money. No. I am not saying the money should not be given to people. I am showing to you that I am proving my point.
Yes.
If I was a senator debating on the floor tomorrow, I would bring out all these examples. The county of Kisumu, where Mr. Samson comes from, the governor and the speaker were caught with their hands inside the box. Am I wrong? The county of Busia, the governor was caught with the hands inside the box.
But he's getting more money.
No, wait. So did the Busia people tell you not to produce? You're asking me, I'm not God.
Those individuals.
I don't give children. No, I don't give children. No. I am not person.
We are using the argument. There is no governor who has not stolen. If you don't, the fact that I have not been taken to court does not mean that they have not stolen.
I am bringing examples because I am bringing this debate.
Kirinyaga, just the other day, also the same corruption cases.
But you people, why are you? Where is the count of Moyale?
The county.
How many times has that man been brought to court?
Yes, several times. So we are saying it's all over. It's all over the counties. The stealing. It's all over.
The whole thing here is the awkwardness of how we erred in our constitution. Professor, let's agree.
That's true. I'm with you. I'm with you 100%.
You're with him where? I want to understand.
One of the statements I want to make on this TV today.
Yes.
Let me sip some water.
Doctor, and Professor is with you. I want to understand, Professor, you're with the doctor where exactly? Because I know on this subject you've been a bit
on
defiant.
The constitutional framework surrounding devolution. The Kenyan constitution erred. You have balkanized Kenya into tribal kingdoms. Each tribe has got a tribal king called governor. It will take you 1 million years to get unity. If Nyali says I'm wrong, he did developmental studies. I did politics of governance, constitutionalism. I swear, your constitution is not very good on devolution. It has erred. Do you know what it has done? It has, the best word I want to use, you have balkanized Kenya into tribal sets of Kikuyu, Kalenjin, Luo, Turkana, Swahili, Somali. You have appointed a governor, Oparanya, because he's a lawyer. You give him governorship. If I were a Kenyan and writing this constitution, you assumed that Kenya will be like America, where people know that America is America, where the national anthem, when it is sung, you stand up. Even when you are drowning in water, you have to stand up as you drown. You don't swim. That's the rule of the national anthem. An American will stand even when he's going Marines, when he's in the water going to fight in Iraq. And the national anthem of America makes noise. He will sink down to the bottom of the sea. After it is over, then he come up. Ask Onyali how many times he stands for national anthem.
Oh, you have to,
I
doctor.
do.
If you don't, it's a problem. You'll be actually
I
even
do.
here.
That one I
You
do.
try walking when they're playing the national anthem in town there near Nyayo House. You will
You'll go
find
in.
out. Or near Chief Camp. It's no
That
joke.
is all,
It's no
Why do we
joke.
do it near Nyayo House only?
Even
And
around
we
the Chief
do it
Camp
at
or
home.
anywhere.
How many of you stand up?
Because that is
in your
when,
house?
when they're putting up the flag and bringing it up in the evening and morning. In the homes, we don't do that, I guess.
Do you see when the flag is being taken up and down?
Doctor,
The people near Nyayo House are the only people who stand.
even the vehicles, anybody around there, you have to stand. At
One
at
of the
sound
things you
of
have
that
not
voice.
agreed with me is
Yes.
this is a political process.
No,
There is no- there is no-
I was coming there, my brother.
Come, baby.
I want to agree with you and tell you where. It's not, let me not miss my point.
Yes, Doc.
I want my people of Kenya, my brothers in Kenya, understand that the constitution, the article of the devolution, they should remove the word tribal governor. If you want unity, remove a governor Onyangonyong from Kisumu.
Who is that? You mean Anyang Nyong'o?
Yes.
Okay.
Professor Anyang, my friend, remove Governor Ndoro. What is his name? From Kiambu. Let him be the governor
Of another place, a different place.
of Ghana. Let Ndoro, let Onyangonyongo be the governor of Mombasa. If Professor Anyangonyong was the governor of Nairobi, this county would have almost everything.
But Nairobi is a cosmopolitan place, so everybody
No,
can be
I am
governor.
giving an example. If he was the governor of Muranga, there would be a lot of development. Why governors are having, tribal governors are bringing chaos is tribal politics comes into play. How many times in Kisii, Nyamira people would like, how many times in Kisii, people want Ngwei out? You are from Nyamira.
Yeah, of course.
How many times do you want Nyangarama? Is it Nyagam? What is that
Yes,
name?
I come from Kitutu, but apparently the Bagirangos are more than us. And that's what happened. And some of these boundaries, Daktari, are corona boundaries.
Okay, wait, hold your fire. You have seen the problem here, Miriam.
So how will
Have
that
you
solve the revenue sharing? Because that's where we
no,
are.
it's not revenue. We are explaining why governance, why devolution is not working.
Okay.
Don't pretend that it's working.
No, it has a problem. It has a problem. We all
Devolution
agree.
has just worked on paper.
And the revenue sharing was a big part of that devolution that was helped.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. So
What has
can we
come
talk
out
about
now
that?
is a wound. A wound has burst. The wound has burst because you took tribalism in the devolution. The wound has burst. None of these people, none of these senators is fighting for Kenya. All these senators are fighting for my county. So where's the unity? Where's the unity? Tell me. Where's the unity? You are talking of unity of purpose, while a senator of of Wangil says, my people, my people, my people, not my Kenya. Have you seen where you have gone wrong? You have balkanized this state into a time bomb. And the time bomb will explode. It is going to explode on this money. It was a waiting. When we come on Lilian,
The money.
what do you call it in Kisi?
Chibesa.
And what do you call it in Luo?
It's just pesa.
Mr. Samson.
Pesa.
What do you call it in Luo?
Money.
It's just pesa.
The money, how do you call money in Luo?
I'm telling you, it's pesa.
Omenda.
Omenda.
Yeah.
When it comes to Omenda, chaos has arrived. This was an accident in waiting. It has now finally come to expose the ugly head of devolution.
So devolution
which was done without evolution.
Doctor, 8 years later, devolution is still having teething problems. How is this even? Yeah.
Why?
Why is it still on teething, phase, Prof?
Miriam,
Yes.
let me, as Dr. Sips was, let me correct this one here. Those counties which have gotten right with the devolution, they have done remarkably very well. And let me just repeat this one. I'm a development that I've got this one. From independence up to now, Northeastern were able to get a tarmac road under devolution. From independence, it is under devolution. No, listen, doctor.
I have already agreed with you,
Doctor,
Professor.
can you finish? But can the Prof finish? Can the Prof
Three
finish?
governors.
Yes.
The
Three
airport.
governors. Send them to jail.
Are you
People
using
will
the are you using the airport in Wangil?
It has been used through Somalia and other places. And some Kenyans who travel.
How many times have you gone to Wangil?
Kenyans
The
who are
airport
traveling.
is first class. With tarmac and everything, it can take Boeing
So-
7.
So devolution has done very well.
How many times? Wapi wewe Mzee, Wapi?
Prof
You can't
finish.
convince me.
I am with Miriam.
Yes.
Why don't you
Leave no one behind when it
Doctor,
comes to
hold it.
development.
Yes.
Yes.
Some of those governors stealing the people's money, we will catch them. We will send 3 of them like Waruke in, and they will respect.
Why just send all of
What's
them?
the
Why
money?
3? Just all of them. If they're found culpable, they should all be answerable, so that the people don't get to suffer because they're failing to do what is right by their. Yes.
I can buy the sense of equity.
Yes.
I can buy the sense of marginalization.
Which is at the core of
But
devolution,
I cannot
equity.
buy the sense of development study of Professor Onyari saying
is?
that there is a road, there is an airport in Wangim. None of them, even if you put a plane at Wilson, none of them will fill the plane to Wangim.
Actually, they do.
They prefer driving these cars up to Wangim. Now, wait, boss, why don't you answer my question?
They do.
What are you going to get
Doctor,
to
we could
Wangim?
get those statistics for you and see how many people travel to Ajir. But I think
I
they
am
do a
still
lot.
ready.
The
I am
business.
speaking from, there is always a plane at the airport here. Even if you go, you find 6 people, 7 people. People are not full.
But Doctor,
The plane,
we're in Wilson. You don't go to Wilson.
there are flights.
Walk
They
over
will
road.
do- They will do the flights. Yes, because we are talking of development here, taking development closer to people.
They
We have
withdrew-
taken an airport in Wangim.
Yes.
How many people use the airport, Samsung?
Daktari, when the tarmac road was done in Wachia, you could see people cry for the first time. People were crying.
When it was open, they were crying.
Yes, when
They
the
were
one
happy.
the road was commissioned,
They're
they
not
had not
seen
seen it
that
for the first
since
time.
independence of this country.
They
The
were
people in Wachia, when they come to Nairobi, they come with trucks. This one carrying goats and cows. So what we want to do, there is a better side of devolution, and I'm not opposed with the population, but I'm trying to tell you that like the prime minister is caught between a hard rock and a stone. Some of those counties which are losing money are the one we support him. Should the formula we proceed ahead with the formula, someone will capitalize on it.
Okay.
So we find ourselves in catch-22,
and the BPI
and then we say, why can't we address this through BPI?
Why can't we do this? Why can't we address? I agree with you, but why can't we look at another example, Miriam? The example is this one. What do people of same arid and arid areas need? What do pastoral counties need?
Correct.
No, wait. Do they need houses?
No.
Or they need tents and boreholes?
They need more schools and more hospitals.
More schools, more tents, more boreholes.
And even just roads
more
to
clinics.
Get to these schools and
No,
hospitals.
wait. More clinics. For you can. Let's get this very clear. What do you need in Somalia, for example? Do you need a 20-story building?
No.
Somalia.
You need a
Somalia
and a bore where there is water for your animals.
Somalia needs peace for now.
Make good canals, drill water from down the ground, like Gaddafi dug water, turned the Mediterranean Sea into drinkable water.
Yes.
How many of these governors are seeking that money to drill those boreholes? Zero. I have looked today, this morning, throughout all the governors of the pastoral areas. Their budget for borehole is zero.
So maybe they need a workshop to help them identify the needs of their people.
Then what are you looking for the money for? Cameras drink water.
Camels.
Cows drink water. Goats drink water. Why are you denying the goats water? And you want a road. You want a road to go where? Cows don't travel on the road.
To come to Nairobi, but yeah.
Come to Nairobi, they come by truck. Once during Christmas and Easter and Eid Fitri and Eid Mubarak.
Yes.
Don't tell me lies here. You need.
Yes.
Let the senators hear me. They cannot challenge me on this.
I have an answer for Daktari.
You wait for your answer.
Daniel.
I am convincing. You see, you need the boreholes, you need the tents, because the weather is very windy. Same desert area. You need water to fertilize areas today.
So tents are supposed to be erected where?
These areas for commercial farming. Therefore, the money that they give them, let there be farmers who can turn this land into arable land. But for now, to allocate land that has not been tilled, money is like allocating a stone that will never produce even water or cry.
But doctor, a country
and Miriam,
a country like Israel is as dry as northeastern, but see what the wonders it's doing over there. So
No, Miriam, I think we are losing.
Yes, we are losing focus. Yes,
Israelis have turned a desert.
We can turn northeastern into a productive.
Let me just ask Miriam a question.
So anything is possible. Yes.
What do you make? Look at the United States of America. We do have regions like the Dakota regions where we do have the Indian Americans where they live. Look at the infrastructural development. That we don't have skyliners there. We don't have big industries there. But look at New York. Look at Washington D.C. You know, before a project, the government brings a project in a certain area, there must be an incentive, an economic incentive.
But also when you go to Dakota, they have hospitals, they have good roads, they have good schools. Yes.
Okay, how do you make a road of a highway where only 60 people will travel?
And they have wonderful highways, even if it's just one person traveling.
Miriam, and I tell you, if the people of Dakota now, if the people of Dakota were in the Kenyan perspective, they will be also be shouting, calling for equality, calling for Skyliners in their area. But for what?
That is not what they want. I don't think people from Turkana want Skyliners. I don't think that is their priority. Yes.
Miriam, let me ask you a question.
Yes, Professor, answer that.
A liquor factory in Wajir.
Nobody wants to take a liquor factory in Wajir. They don't drink.
That's the same
Which one?
Miriam we are using now.
I'm trying to read comparative scenarios.
Who wants to take a liquor factory in Wajir? Who is that person? Let's talk about it.
Yes. The same way.
Some of the senators,
Professor,
are arguing in their senate that you don't take this money, because in their budget, if you look at the budget, they have also budgeted creation of liquor centers. How many people drink liquor in Wajir?
Miriam, one point is,
and if you go to their budget books, you find people have got money, administrative costs
for entertainment.
For liquor licensing board. You have administrative cost for liquor licensing board in Wajir, in Mandera, in Moyale, when 90% of the people there are people who are assumed not to drink liquor.
Assumed. Yeah, assume is a very good choice of word, doctor.
I'm saying so.
Yes, a very good choice of word, but we cannot say yes.
The type of people who drink more,
the majority, yes, are over here.
Are down here.
Are assumed to be here. Yes.
In Kisumu, in Muranga, in Western Kenya, Bungoma, bars at night are open. And that's why you see that those counties are well disciplined now. Look at the distribution of corona figures and the data, which the minister is reading every day. Show me the counties, apart from the Somali people who are passing through Mandela and caused the chaos there. Show me these counties are safer. Because there is no alcohol.
Because they don't drink. So now that is another thing. We should ban alcohol. But Prof.
Miriam,
yes.
Miriam.
I'm
the question
yes.
we should ask ourselves, how did we find ourselves to the current sharing revenue allocation formula? How do we get out of there? Remember, Revenue Allocation Commission, they have done their part, they have done public participation, and we have brought the element of population now. We want to consider the factor of population, which I do support. But now the senators who are supposed to approve this motion, they are partisan. How do we come out of that? I have said the consequences, what will be. I have told you, like the Prime Minister, is in between a hard rock and a hard stone. Some of the counties which do support him, because we will go and face an election,
will be affected.
Someone will capitalize. Tanga will capitalize because Tanga people, they are not using principle. They are after shooting down something which takes Kenya forward. And I have said this, I have got a lot of hope in PPI. It is 2 years remaining. It is 2 years remaining. Let us pass that PPI. We are fighting corruption. People are fearing to touch the money now that cases like Waruk and we have more of them go in. Let us address the devolution by increasing more percentage. Let us not fear that people will steal. Those who are stealing, they have got their day and it's coming.
Yes.
That's what I have to say. Like the governor or the governor of Samburu.
Yes.
Chances, hold on. Chances are the governor of Samburu may go in. The governor of Nairobi may go in. The governor of Kiambu may go in. Or Jamong may go in. So they will start fearing public resources. But as it is now, before the Senate, it is a political problem which needs a political solution.
Very well.
The president has to come forward and whip his people, and the prime minister has to come forward and whip his people so that we pass this allocation bill. I'm not against it, so that the country moves forward.
Very well, thank you. And as you conclude, Doctor, we'll come to you. Let's start with Samson, and then we'll go to Daniel, and then back to Prof, and then Doctor will end it for us. Samson.
Thank you so much, Miriam. We are having a very good debate. Whose success will inform the future of this particular country. So, I just want to say this to the viewers or the panelists. The issues to do with revenue allocation has two broad aspects. The first aspect is the expert opinion, the technocrats. They gave their views. They undertook, as Prof has said, they undertook public participation, which is a requirement of the Constitution. But then, because they don't have a legislative role, they have no mandate to legislate. Their role ends at that. So the next aspect is the political aspect, because it has to go through the Senate to initiate the revenue formula. So let us agree. This thing is political because it has arrived in the Senate. For us to get out of it, we must have the senators or the national leaders must have a genuine debate amongst themselves, because at the end of the day, you remember in 2010, 2008, 2010, there was this kind of Mao eviction. It was a genuine concern, but people politicize it. So even this one, the revenue allocation, some people have ambitions towards 2022. People will hijack this process and use it as a campaign tool, and it will lose substance. That is the danger we are having. So let us have a national debate, a very honest one, for the sake of the country. Because if Professor Nyari here is as agitated as he is now, what about his senator? What about the MPs? They will revolt at some point. This is a very delicate balance that we must really look into. It is not a gamble we want to take. Let us decide as a country that this is a political process, and to get out of it, let us sit down and talk. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Samson. Daniel.
Very well.
Yes, thank you, Miriam. Of course, we are having a very, very heated debate here. And I want to put a perspective on my argument, which cascades towards Dr. Matsanga's arguments as well. So when you look at this issue of equalization, a while back in Zaire, when we had President Mobutu Sese Seko, he spent a lot of public money on his hometown, his village of Badolite. And he built a very lavish palace there, and he went ahead to build an airport, and he built even a fully fledged soft drink, a Coca-Cola processing company, and a lot of good roads, good housing, because he thought that his people had been left behind, and he wanted to bring them to the same level as the rest of the country, as Kinshasa and all the major cities in Congo. But one thing he never put into consideration is that these people never had the capacity. The town, his hometown, never had the incentive to be able to accommodate these new infrastructural advancements. And when eventually he exited power, when you go back there, all these treasures are in ruins. The airport is no longer operating, because the only incentive that was there was the president himself, Mobutu Sese Seko. Apart from Mobutu, there was no other person who could use the airport. The Coca-Cola processing plant, it is not running. It has never processed any soda there, because we never had the money power. We never had the incentive. We never had even what we call the resources there to run such particular facilities. The roads there, the tarmac roads that used to be at that time when Mobutu was in power, are all dilapidated, because right now no one is using them, and they don't generate enough revenue to be able to repair them. So my point is, before we think of giving every county an equal share, we also have to look at the capacity, the capability of these counties to sustain such kind of development. And as I had said earlier, we cannot build a 5,000 bed capacity hospital in Isiolo and neglect people of Kisumu who are in need of such facilities because of their bigger population. Because if you make such a decision, then it means that in Isiolo we'll be having a 5,000 bed capacity hospital with only 15 people in it, while in Kisumu people sleep in the corridors while trying to seek medical care. So as Dr. Matsanga said, let us look at case by case basis. Let us study every case and be able to single out which priority does each county need, so that from there we can only be able to allocate an equal share of resources to them. But if we choose to overfeed them and overstaff them with these amounts of money, then one, we're going to have a lot of money coming back to the national government, as it has been with most of these marginalized counties. Two, we're going to bring an incentive for corruption in the counties, because if this money remains unused, corrupt governors are going to find a way of making sure that this money is spent. And that is why Lenonklal had to give a directive that county vehicles are fueled in a certain petrol station. Even if they are not moving, they go there, get fuel, get receipts showing that they are fueled here, billions go away. So that is my parting shot. Let us study every county. Let us see the incentive. Let us see the needs and the requirements. Then we can allocate an equal amount as monitor the growth of every county. But saying that we just wake up one day and say that we want to be equal in resource distribution, it can never happen. And equality is a fallacy by the Miriam. Even if you look at your fingers, they are not equal at all. So achieving an equilibrium in terms of resource distribution, I don't think it's something that we're going to do overnight.
Yes, thank you so much, Daniel. And before Prof, you come in there, I don't know if Mobutu is the best example, Daniel, that you would have given, because we know even the airport he built it for his own personal Concorde to come and land and take off, and everything else he did there was for his own interest. He never thought about the popular. So that's why when he was no longer in power, there's no way it could be used, because it was to serve his own personal interests. I don't know if that would be a good parallel to draw with our county officials. But thank you so much for that, Professor, and then Doctor will end it for us.
Yeah, thank you, Miriam. And let me tell you, by the way, our constitution is one of the progressive constitutions in the world, apart from the few areas of 20% which we need to panel, and with time we will catch it. Our constitution talks about public participation, and let me tell you what happened in public participation, what some of these governors, mischievous governors, do. They put public participation on a market day, very far away from people are, so people will not stop going to the market to do business for their daily activities, and then they go for public participation. Mm-hmm. So they have not been doing things openly, because participation is here. People are supposed to be informed, involved, reach a consensus, and then we move forward as the people. Mm-hmm. I agree 100% that money should be paid on population. A mistake was done by the first commission, which was in place. They considered other factors are not the population. And under the current commission, Revenue Allocation Commission, they have given the way forward. How I pray that our senators will rise above par, like the Prime Minister, when it came to the conservation of Mau. He said he rather goes to sell mandasi at Kibera rather than the destruction of Mau forest. So how I pray that the governors, the senators see it that way, because fairness means that where more people are, you don't give them less money. And we remember we have got the northern ministry. The government perhaps should put more money on that ministry so that it ensures that those areas are developed so that they catch up. But let me tell you that if people can sit down and debate soberly the way we are doing here, a solution will be found out. This is a great country, and I am a firm supporter of you. Let us not leave anyone behind as we are moving forward. Some of the injustices which are being done in this country were done from the colonial times. Mm-hmm. Even the counties, the district which we inherited, which has now become counties, were created by the colonial people, divide and rule. Even in various places where we come from, even clans are put in a way that these clans, they are together. So let us not lose hope. Better days are always in the future. We can walk. Mm-hmm. The evolution has done very much. I've done very very well. And even for my own county, my governor made a gate to the hospital of 7.5 million, even when the hospital does not have water. So it means let us involve people. Let us, that is the whole essence of public participation. Mm-hmm. And of devotion, of asking people to identify their needs. Mm-hmm. I agree with Dr. Masanga and the other panelists that the people of Northeastern needs more water than anything else for their animals. I had a debate with one of the director for economic planning of this country, and he said this one, there is a written rule. It is not in books and it is a policy that you make people poor. The member of the county assembly has got money which he can sing a bowl of 5 million, but they don't do that one. A member of parliament has got money which he can sing a bowl. They don't do that one. The governor has got a lot of money at his disposal to sing the bowl. They don't do that one. Even the national government has got resources to do that one. So it is a lot of politics that you make people poor, so that you can be able to manipulate them. We hope with time, people will see things in a different way. But I look forward that when the Senate meets tomorrow, they pass this bill so that the country moves forward.
All right, thank you so much. And Doctor, before you come in there, I have a few interesting points the panelists have raised. Ina Hassan, one of our viewers here, is saying this revenue allocation must be treated with caution. Taking away allocation from some areas and giving it to other well-off counties is counterproductive. The regions need resources so that they can be at par with the rest of the country. And Doctor, something else there, Professor has raised, that these governors now, not only did they lie about being ready in terms of COVID-19 preparation, but apparently public participation, they put it on a day where people have to go to the market to go about their lives. So people miss out. They will not have time to go and be part of the public participation that is really required in our constitution there. End it for us, Doctor, with all this in mind.
You are muted. It's muted. Doctor, you are muted.
Oh, thank you. Thank you, Professor. Thank you, Miriam. Thank you, the panel. Thank you, all of you, Daniel, Samson, Gerard, and Miriam. Why do we do one man, one vote, universal suffrage? Why is it that we vote on that basis and elect a government on that basis? My submission is we want accountability of our voting patterns, our votes. Your vote matters. Just as the vote matters, the amount of your vote, the number of your vote must be equivalent to the expectations of your vote. The people of Siaya voted one man, one vote. They did not vote one man, half vote. Neither did they vote one man, one and a half. It was one man, one vote, universal suffrage. The world of Socrates, Aristotle, Plato, the Republic, name it. They have that doctrine. Let's bring the doctrine home. Why do you vote one man, one vote, and deny that vote? The credibility of performance for the vote to be seen working. The man who woke up in Muranga, the man who woke up in Kiambu, the man who woke up in Kakamega, Kisumu, Bungoma, Mombasa, wants to see the value of his vote. He doesn't want to see 2 votes. He doesn't want to see half a vote. Neither does he want to see 1.5 vote. He wants to see why he woke up at 5 to stand to vote for Uhuru Kenyatta or to vote for Raila Odinga or for any other candidate who was in the race. It is very discriminatory for you to give 1.5 votes to an area that voted 1 vote. Oh, it is very discriminatory to give a half a vote to the area that voted a full vote. Therefore, it brings in the question of equity. I submit, therefore, Samson, you knocked a point. Equity. Equitable. Equitable, not quantity. Not quantity. And let's get this very clear. Not quantity. Equitable distribution. 1 man, 1 vote, equitably. 1 man, 1 shilling, equitably. So that there is no leftover money. Hallelujah. There is no leftover money for people like the governor of Samburu to steal. Why this money of devolution has been stolen is because there is too much money flowing in counties, on bank accounts of the counties. They connive with the chief accountants of those counties to draw the money and buy petrol stations and buy houses in Karen and Arunda. Why do you take money to where it is not needed? When other places need the money. Why should money be returned to the coffer of the government? Yet Kakamega needs that money. Why do you build a road to nowhere where only cows will walk on it? Roads are built with priority. What is supposed to be collected from an area of 60 people with an area of 600 million, 6 million, or 1 million, or 600, or 60,000. In doing so, there is a term that we call, in this money gymnastics, is called gerrymandering. Gerrymandering leads to crisis, to a conflict. To gerrymander money issues will lead to a conflict. The method that people are arguing, like Professor is arguing, is the method Museveni uses to steal the votes across there. Karamoja district, Moroto County, has 5,000 people. You can bribe 5,000 people. But the Besigye cannot bribe 123,000 people in Nakawa constituency. How will you bribe when you have the money? Why should we continue with a constitution which is gerrymandering everybody? And then on the top of the surface, we say we are all Kenyans, but we are gerrymandered. Professor, you have just told me that your governor, what did he do?
He told you 7.5 million when the hospital doesn't have water.
Is that not gerrymandering?
With 12 million.
Is that not gerrymandering the public? Look at the English word gerrymandering. What does it mean?
I agree, that's what it is. We evangelize people.
The Tonga is very good at looking at those words. Look for the word gerrymandering. What you are doing here is to gerrymander the situation of devolution. Why are you giving some counties money that they return unused? There is a county of Makueni, returned the money unused. So the senator of Makueni, by name Kilonzo, is it Kalonzo? What is his name? Junior.
Utula Kilonzo Junior.
Utula Kilonzo Junior says, no. But Makueni returned the money unused. Were there no projects in Makueni? Why do you return the money the government has given you? Because you want to show you are a very good accounting officer. When Kiambu is still starving, when Meru is starving, when Kakamega is starving, why don't you give them what is enough equitably?
Doctor, even the bigger counties have returned money to treasury. It's a requirement. If you have not used the money, the money comes straight. Even Kiambu has returned money. Even Nairobi has returned money.
Okay, then that is not equitable distribution. My point here is equitable distribution, not equality, not quantity. Don't get me wrong, sir. I am looking for equitable solution to the equitable distribution of the money. What is the best way you can equitably distribute this money without injuring anybody? That's what we are looking for, isn't it? Isn't it? So, if you give money to a population of 300,000, and the Kiambu has 3 million people, you give them the same money. Have you equitably distributed it? No. Point number 2, devolution cannot do without evolution. Devolution cannot do without evolution. You Kenyans, listen to me. You rushed to do devolution without evolution. Therefore, the wound is bursting. 3, you balkanize the state with paramount chiefs. Each county has got a son of the county. The Kisis who come from another clan would not like the other Kisi who is from the other clan to be the governor the second time. You have created the divisions that unite people of Kenya. 4, viability. Viability. What is the viability of projects? What is viable? What is economically viable? How many camels can produce milk? So we get a milk plant to export the milk from Mandera, from Isiolo, from Wanjiru, from Moyale. We want now real projects that can create employment for the people of that area. How many of these governors has ever thought of producing camel milk, which is much needed in Saudi Arabia. You proponents, you who support this thing of giving more, I want you to go into the budget of the governors in same arid land to see whether one produced a milk industry, a sheep industry, a tannery for skins, so that instead of coming to Nairobi, the airport in Wanjiu is used to export milk every evening, where there is a hunger for that milk in Dubai, United Arab Emirates. 6, boreholes, tanks are more valuable than roads in those areas. You need more boreholes for water, for the animals. You need makeshift shelter. I'm making my points here. I hope Aromba is with me. Makeshift shelter. You need it. You don't need permanent cement houses because the situation there is nomadism, pastoralism. They move to look for water. Someone moves 200 miles looking for water, yet we can draw so many boreholes. The government should put emphasis on these governors to play several boreholes, to drill many boreholes for the farmers in Northeastern to be able to draw water to feed their animals. This will stop nomadism, pastoralism, movement, for people to move like they are going to a train, like the American Express that went the lunatic. People are moving with animals all the way from 300 miles up to Taveta. This has created interclan and tribal conflicts because of pastures. So the governors in those areas should think of drawing more boreholes than thinking of having things that look like Nairobi. Houses that look like Nairobi. Therefore, finally, I want to submit to the panel that it is upon you Kenyans and upon the Senate and the Parliament of Kenya to change the law. 8 years, we have seen the inequality, not the quality, inequality in voting. You vote, you get more votes, you elect the president, but you get little. Not that people should marginalize the other people. No, equitably must be distributed. That's what I submit. Development must be equitably distributed. That's what I submit. Don't submit halfway. Equitably distribute development projects. And with those projects that have a living tag, don't bring us a hotel when people don't know how to use the hotel. Why do you take a 5-star hotel in Mandera when everybody in Mandera is like his home? How many people will fly there? Why don't you take a factory that will create employment in Mandera than a hotel? I rest my case and I ask the people not to gerrymander this process. If the senators are watching me, I have submitted eloquently. One big word that you can take from this: never do devolution without evolution. And I think I'll produce the paper tomorrow. My paper will be here tomorrow. You read it. Don't do evolution, only do devolution with evolution. That's why you find so many doctors up to today are crying they have not been paid salaries for 3 months. 8 years in devolution, we haven't sorted out the doctors because there is no evolution of services. I submit.
All right. Sorry. Thank you so much there, Dr. Matanga. Thank you, Professor Onyari. Thank you, Daniel. I also thank you, Samson from Kisumu. This has been quite a debate, and hopefully for those who have been watching, you've learned something from all the submissions that have been made there. We'll see you sometimes later. Bye-bye for now.
For those...
Peace must be our goal and our guide. And all that we strive for as a human family, dignity and hope, progress and prosperity, depends on peace. But peace depends on us.